Just when many believed the Epstein files had been fully examined, a new development has forced investigators and analysts to pause and reconsider. A name, previously overlooked, rarely emphasized, and buried deep within documentation, has now emerged in a way that reshapes how the surrounding events are understood. This is not about sensational headlines or political theatre. It is about verified material that demands a fresh review of timelines once assumed to be settled. Recently shared records circulated among select oversight bodies contain messages, emails, and internal memos that had not drawn attention before. Within those pages, one individual appears repeatedly, sometimes casually, sometimes at moments tied to planning, coordination, and decision-making. What makes this discovery significant is timing. The individual's documented presence overlaps with key points in Donald Trump's established timeline connected to Epstein. That overlap alone does not imply wrongdoing, but it does require investigators, reporters, and legal teams to re-evaluate how events unfolded and whether previous interpretations were incomplete. Think of it like reviewing decades-old corporate correspondence and suddenly realizing a lesser-known executive quietly influenced decisions that altered the company's trajectory. The facts remain the facts, but their meaning changes once the full structure is visible. The emergence of this name forces a reassessment across multiple fronts. Attorneys must revisit defense strategies built around earlier timelines. Journalists are re-examining assumptions made during prior reporting. Investigators are now tracing connections that once appeared disconnected or insignificant. Earlier disclosures treated certain meetings, calls, and interactions as isolated or routine. This new information suggests that some of those events may have been part of a broader pattern. Not criminal by default, but no longer dismissible. Importantly, this discovery does not directly incriminate Trump. What it does is alter context. It introduces gaps, overlaps, and pressures that were not previously accounted for, changing how intent, awareness, and proximity are analyzed. Once this name was formally flagged, investigators began reviewing every documented interaction again. Meetings, once considered minor, are now viewed through a different lens. Phone calls that seemed incidental are being cross-referenced with dates, travel records, and communications. For Trump's legal team, this is close to a worst-case scenario. Defense arguments carefully structured around a fixed sequence of events are now under strain. Lawyers are being forced to adjust in real time, reviewing documents that were once considered settled. The presence of this individual raises difficult questions. Were certain communications omitted from earlier disclosures? Did this person influence decisions or access in ways that were never fully explored? Were interactions intentionally minimized or simply overlooked? In Washington, federal investigators are quietly connecting these new references with existing evidence. Even a single overlap can shift interpretations of intent or awareness, critical elements in any legal inquiry. Aides and associates who once felt confident in their public accounts now face the possibility that newly uncovered material could contradict them. That risk alone changes behavior. Imagine a major corporate investigation where an overlooked executive suddenly appears approving key transactions. Board minutes, internal emails, and press statements that once made sense are now questioned. That is the pressure now surrounding Trump's legal defense. This development opens new investigative paths. Witnesses may be re-interviewed, subpoenas may be expanded, leads that were previously dormant are now active again. Once investigators flagged this name, reactions among former aides and witnesses were immediate, though largely behind closed doors. Private messages and internal communications show concern, urgency, and rapid recalibration. Witnesses who once believed their testimony was secure are now reviewing past statements. Some are seeking independent counsel. Others are quietly clarifying timelines with investigators. The impact does not stop with a single case. Across Washington, Georgia, Florida, and New York, prosecutors are reassessing evidence with this new context in mind. In Georgia, Fulton County investigators are re-examining calls, meetings, and coordination linked to election-related inquiries. Previously secondary details now appear more central when aligned with the revised timeline. In Florida, investigators reviewing obstruction and classified documents are comparing overlaps between known associates and this newly emphasized individual. Any convergence during sensitive periods raises additional questions. In New York, financial investigators are adjusting their approach. Even indirect links, timing, communication patterns, or shared intermediaries can provide leverage during questioning and document review. What was once a footnote is now a force multiplier, increasing pressure across multiple legal fronts simultaneously. Inside Trump's inner circle, the first signs of alarm were internal. Sources describe late-night calls, rewritten statements, and urgent efforts to align past remarks with newly surfaced records. Trump himself, known for controlling narrative and momentum, reportedly expressed frustration as advisors worked to manage the implications. The discovery forced reassessment not only of legal strategy, but of public messaging. Every statement now carries risk. Social media posts are examined not just by supporters and critics, but by investigators searching for inconsistencies. This creates a constant tension between political defense and legal defense, two strategies that often conflict. The shockwaves extend to witnesses. Individuals who had already testified or spoken publicly now face renewed scrutiny. Investigators have signaled that inconsistencies, once considered minor, may now be significant. For many, cooperation becomes less optional and more strategic. Each witness who revises or clarifies their account increases pressure on others. The domino effect is real. This is how investigations accelerate, not through dramatic announcements, but through quiet leverage and shifting incentives. Once the existence of this overlooked name became public, media coverage intensified. Reporting shifted from routine analysis of Epstein records to a focus on how this figure alters broader timelines. Conservative outlets have attempted to downplay the significance. Mainstream organizations emphasize legal and political implications. Social media amplifies both narratives, increasing scrutiny with every cycle. This attention matters. Prosecutors, analysts, and even potential jurors absorb the same information in real time. Republican strategists are also reassessing the political fallout. Legal instability at the top of the ticket affects down-ballot races, donor confidence, and voter sentiment. Some allies have quietly adjusted their tone. Others are weighing loyalty against risk. The long-term implications go beyond Trump himself. This moment demonstrates how overlooked details can reshape entire investigations. Legally, it underscores the importance of context. Politically, it challenges perceptions of invulnerability. Psychologically, the pressure is constant. Every decision, every word, every silence carries consequence. Historically, this is a reminder that power does not exempt anyone from scrutiny when evidence emerges. The Epstein files, once thought exhausted, have reopened critical questions, not through speculation, but through documentation. Ultimately, this is not just about one individual or one name. It is about accountability, process, and the resilience of institutions under pressure. As investigators, courts, media, and political actors respond, the outcome will shape not only ongoing cases but public trust itself. What was once hidden is now visible. And with that visibility comes reassessment, careful, methodical, and unavoidable.